Despite not having a first-round pick in the 2023 NFL Draft, the Los Angeles Rams are still in an admirable spot. Like, so they got a 2, they got 2 3s, and they got change. Here's the thing. I mean, really, with the needs that the Rams have currently, they could really go in any direction along the defensive line, like edge rusher, also corner. Maybe like I would really see a safety that really sets the tone for them on defense would be a lot of fun. But also, like, quite honestly, like the rest of this defensive line, really just needs some help. And today we're going to cover it on what you can expect in terms of what could be the best case scenario in our dream draft scenarios today for the Los Angeles Rams in the 2023 NFL Draft. And we'll bring you right into here in just a second. But just to give you guys kind of a reminder, number one, this is not a mock draft. This is us taking a look at the 3 different scenarios, the best case / dream case scenarios, what we think is going to happen, then finally the worst case scenario that could potentially happen for the Rams heading into the draft. Now, so we're going to bring you into this. I know it's a mock draft simulator, but it's not a mock draft. Maybe we'll look at doing a little bit something different next year so there's a little bit less confusion. But overall, so the Rams here at 36, owning that second round pick and a couple of 3s, they're in a really good spot right now. So, and plus when they get into the later rounds, I could really see them going in a couple of different directions. So we're going to go ahead and start the draft. Bryce Young seems to be that guy that's going number 1. Then it's C.J. Stroud, Anthony Richardson. Will Levis is usually kind of somewhere in the mix there. So at 36 here, I really feel like this defensive line class, even though I know that this guard class is pretty, like, after Osiris Torrance and Cody Mock potentially, and Steve Avila, there's going to need to be a little bit of help here. But so far at 36, honestly, I really want to go after a D lineman. I really feel like there's a lot of different, like Adetomiwa Dabarie. I know that's not even close to how you say it. Ran a 4.49 at the combine at 280 pounds. Dude's a freak. I think next to him, I think him and Aaron Donald on the inside would be, and having him do a lot of different things. Brian Bresee. So what's the dream draft scenario here? Brian Bresee would be a lot of fun. Would be a lot of fun here. So what is the dream draft scenario? I think a guy like Nolan Smith falling to you somehow would be a lot of fun and make a lot of sense. Now, after his combine, I don't know if that's actually going to happen. Let's see. Where does he actually fall here? Maybe does he go early 1? Like, I've had a crush on Nolan Smith, a draft crush, that is. I'm married and happily. But I've had a draft crush on Nolan Smith for a while here. Does he fall? Where's he falling here? I really don't see him. Maybe I'm just missing him. But overall, he's the guy that I think would make a lot of sense for the Rams in this particular spot. I don't see Nolan Smith. Maybe I'm just blind. But at the end of the day, he would make a lot of sense for me and be that guy that I would take with no problem at all at this particular spot. Also, Andre Carter is falling. Like, honestly, some of these edge rushers are not getting the respect that is absolutely due to them. So, like I said, dream draft scenario would be Nolan Smith. After that, I would think that a guy at the caliber in the defensive line room of Adebariye would also make a lot of sense. Tuli Tuipulotu, he would be fun too. So this was like the Rams are really in a good spot. If they just want to take an edge rusher and that be the end of it to help them out. If they want to go D lineman, specifically D tackle, that works too. That would be fantastic. But also if they want to trade down, like this is a deep enough class that if you want to maybe potentially get another 3rd or 4th round pick, I think it could make some sense. But Adebariye and Tuli Tuipulotu, out of those two, I know you got some needs along the offensive line too, but your D line needs help. I think you only have I read an article the other day that says they only have like 4.5. There's only one player that has along like 4 defensive ends. They've only got 4.5 sacks. Not good. So I'm gonna go Tuli Tuipulotu, who had 13.5 sacks last year for USC, and then yes, you're back into the 3rd round here. So dream draft scenario, you get one of the top edge players, and then you get into the 3rd round here. I think a guy like there's as far as the pass rushers go, I think for me the biggest sleeper that really needs to get a lot more respect is Zach Pickens coming up out of South Carolina. I think him paired with Aaron Donald would just be nasty. Kobe Turner's a lot of fun too. Moro Ojomo is a really good player. Broderick Martin and Jared Clark are the 2 best run stuffing D tackles in this draft. No cap, including out of Jalen Carter, who I think is definitely not a slouch in that regard. But those 2, they just plug up gaps and they take up double teams, and you absolutely love to see it. Now, dream draft scenario also in the 2nd round, like, could Bijan fall? I don't know. I don't think Bijan Robinson's going to fall out of the 1st round. In fact, I highly doubt it. But that would be, I mean, come on, going to the Rams, Bijan Robinson, that would just not be good for the rest of the NFL. But so you get potentially potentially you could have a lot of good players fall to you in the second and third rounds. But like I said, you get a couple of third-round picks that could really pan out for you. That could be a lot of fun too. But like I said, also in the secondary, J.L. Skinner would be a dream draft scenario pick for me because I know he's more of a ball hawk, but he is a lot of fun too. Like to me, he's so fun. Guys like Anthony Johnson Jr. as well as Sidney Brown. He's got a lot of versatility. Marty Mapu. He's a lot of fun. Like I think he played 6 years at Sacramento State. I don't care if he's a little bit older. Getting him in the third or fourth round, like just having a dude that is your Swiss Army knife that you could just do whatever you want with. He's a man. He's an absolute man. So I think for the dream draft scenarios, you really need to focus on the DN/D tackle position in the second round and into the third round. You could go running back, you could go D tackle, but overall, I think the dream draft scenarios are, hey, it's guys like Nolan Smith falling, Bijan Robinson, Adebawore is most likely going to be there, so I wouldn't necessarily he's a dream draft, but he would be a really good draft case scenario. Now, what's most likely to happen? Again, I feel like with how deep this edge rushing class is, there's some guys that you could get in the second round, guys like Tua Pelotu, who would make a lot of sense. Like, honestly, the dude had double-digit sacks last year. I think he can come in and do the same thing for the Rams in that particular scenario. What's the worst-case scenario? There's going to be a run on edge. I'm just not sure where. So that's going to be really interesting to see where some of these edge players go early. As far as defensive tackles, after Siaki Apuika and Jervin Dexter, even though I know he's a big crush of mine because of his pass rush ability, there's a lot of things to work with there. I think there's definitely a steep drop off. Once you get into the Broderick Martin type of territory, there's really not a lot of guys I would say that can be developing into starters anytime soon. So the worst case scenario. Also, you got to address the offensive line, the linebacker room. You also got to address, as well as the running backs, a DB I want. So the worst case scenario is, I think that you don't find at least somebody in all of these different regards that you are comfortable with, either developing for you or coming in and starting right away. So you need to be able to, play limbo, go get the players you want, and really get some studs along all those different areas. But that is it. That is the dream draft scenarios for the Los Angeles Rams. Let us know what you guys think. Make sure you guys like and subscribe down below. Leave a like and a comment. It helps people find the show. We greatly appreciate all the support that we've gotten and continue to get. We love every single one of you. Down in the description below, you'll find all of our social media platforms. So give us a like and a follow there. Also, remember to give us a listen and sub on iTunes. And finally, if you have anything else you'd like us to cover, send us an email at thesportsbp@yahoo.com or put in the comment section down below, and we would love to cover it. But let us know what you guys think about the dream draft scenarios for the Los Angeles Rams in the 2023 NFL Draft.